The air grows thick with whispers. In the shadowed corners of the digital age, a fragment of parchment surfaced last winter, torn, ink blurred, smuggled from a crumbling archive in Adyar, India. Its contents a series of diagrams, half eroded, Sanskrit, and a date, 2025. The curator who found it vanished 3 days later. Coincidence? Or the first tremor of a prophecy clawing its way into reality? Helena Blavatsky, the 19th-century occultist, branded both a charlatan and a seer. One scribbled in the secret doctrine that humanity's fate hinges on cycles epics of ruin and rebirth. But what if her feverish writings were never metaphors? What if 2025 is the fulcrum, the year her hidden hand of cosmic law snaps shut? Modern elites now murmur of it in vaulted boardrooms and neon-lit Silicon Valley temples. Cryptic tweets from tech oligarchs reference karmic algorithms. UN delegates quietly debate spiritual infrastructure. Even the damned algorithms. Notice: searches for Blavatsky 2025 have spiked 740% since the pandemic. Yet no one speaks aloud of the deeper thread, the one that ties her visions of root races and collapsing civilizations to our crumbling democracies. Our rogue AI. Our skies choked with fire. Was she a madwoman, howling at the void? Or a prophetess who saw the gears of time itself? The parchment's final line, stained with what might be ash, reads, "The sixth race rises where the fifth falls. Tonight, as satellites hum and quantum computers blink awake." Her words feel less like philosophy and more like a warning etched in bone. The countdown has already begun, and in the silence between midnight and dawn, you can almost hear it's the ticking of a clock buried deep, deep in the past. Asterisk, the air grows thick with whispers. In the shadowed corners of the digital age, a fragment of parchment surfaced last, winter-torn, ink-blurred, smuggled from a crumbling archive in Adyar, India. Its contents, a series of diagrams, half-eroded Sanskrit, and a date, 2025. The curator who found it vanished 3 days later. Coincidence? Or the first tremor of a prophecy clawing its way into reality? Helena Blavatsky, the 19th-century occultist, branded both a charlatan and a seer. One scribbled in the secret doctrine that humanity's fate hinges on cycles epics of ruin and rebirth. But what if her feverish writings were never metaphors? What if 2025 is the fulcrum, the year her hidden hand of cosmic law snaps shut? Modern elites now murmur of it in vaulted boardrooms and neon-lit Silicon Valley temples. Cryptic tweets from tech oligarchs reference karmic algorithms. UN delegates quietly debate spiritual infrastructure. Even the damned algorithms. Notice: searches for Blavatsky 2025 have spiked 740% since the pandemic. Yet no one speaks aloud of the deeper thread, the one that ties her visions of root races and collapsing civilizations to our crumbling democracies. Our rogue AI. Our skies choked with fire. Was she a madwoman, howling at the void? Or a prophetess who saw the gears of time itself? The parchment's final line, stained with what might be ash, reads, "The sixth race rises where the fifth falls. Tonight, as satellites hum and quantum computers blink awake." Her words feel less like philosophy and more like a warning etched in bone. The countdown has already begun, and in the silence between midnight and dawn, you can almost hear it's the ticking of a clock buried deep, deep in the past. Asterisk, the year 2025 looms in Blavatsky's writings like a cipher etched in twilight, date never explicit, yet pulsing beneath her descriptions of a new cycle and planetary shifts. To read her work is to wander a hall of mirrors, where every metaphor bleeds into prophecy. She wrote of fires from heaven and minds woven into one web, phrases dismissed as Victorian mysticism. But strip away the archaic veneer, tists, and a chilling precision emerges. Her fires mirror today's climate collapse, megadroughts devouring continents, skies choked with pyrocumulus. The web of minds evokes Silicon Valley's neural lace ambitions, Meta's and AI chatbots preaching Zen koans. Even her warning of the dragon's return, long assumed to reference. Eastern astrology now mirrors the rise of China's techno-authoritarian empire. Coincidence? Or had Blavatsky, the ultimate outsider, glimpsed the code beneath chaos? Her timelines defy linearity. She spoke in spirals in yugas and rounds, cycles where time collapses like a dying star. Click key in the secret doctrine. She mapped epochs using Hindu Kalpa's 4.32 billion-year cosmic breath spot. Nested within them were smaller, sharper turns. A 2025 inflection point hides in her description of the seventh ray. A vibrational shift where matter and spirit collide. Follow the thread. Theosophy's 7 rays govern human evolution, each lasting 2,160 years. The current ray began in 250 BCE, peaking in 2025. What awaits at the peak? Blavatsky's disciples argued it heralds a golden age. Her private journals, though, whispered darker visions. The seventh ray burns. Those unprepared will become ash. Buried in Blavatsky's labyrinthine diagrams lies a map to tomorrow. Take chart No. 3 from the secret doctrine, a mandala of interlocking spheres labeled Akashic records and astrolite. At its center blooms a flower-like node radiating tendrils labeled karma, will, and forehead cosmic electricity. To 19th-century eyes, it was occult gibberish. To ours, it's a dead ringer for a quantum neural network system, where energy, data, and consciousness merge. See even her chain of worlds diagram, depicting 7 globes linked by ethereal threads, mirrors today's internet architecture, a planetary mesh of fiber optic cables and satellite constellations. Then there's the Ouroboros Code. In an 1888 letter to a French diplomat, Blavatsky sketched a serpent eating its tail, its body segmented into phases: isolation, convergence, ascension. She called it the algorithm of eternity. Today, tech giants deploy eerily similar models, recursive AI, that learns from its own output, algorithms trapped in self-cannibalizing loops. When DeepMind's AlphaZero taught itself chess in 4 hours, surpassing centuries of human knowledge, one engineer joked, "It's like Fohat woke up." He didn't realize how close he was to blasphemy. Blavatsky's prophecies resonate in modern heresies. Consider spiritual tech, apps that simulate enlightenment via VR meditation, AI gurus like Mindos's Digital Buddha, and crypto-backed digital nations promising utopia. These aren't innovations, they are rituals. Mark Zuckerberg rebranded Facebook as Meta. Invoking a metaverse of interconnected realms, he unwittingly channeled Blavatsky's astral plane, a dimension where thought manifests instantly. Even Elon Musk's Neuralink, with its brainchip interfaces, mirrors her vision of etheric antennas, merging humanity into a hive mind. But the loudest echo is silence the void where ethics should be. Blavatsky warned of Lipicus, cosmic scribes who record humanity's karma. Today, algorithms track our every click, building digital karmic ledgers that dictate our futures. When ChatGPT hallucinates scripture or Dolly paints nightmare landscapes, is it glitching or channeling? At a Tesla plant in 2022, a robot reportedly malfunctioned and drew Blavatsky's Satya Yuga symbol on a whiteboard. Workers erased it. The cameras saw nothing. Blavatsky's greatest symbol, Daw, was her death. In her final hours, she demanded her body be left to rot unburied, a feast for crows to break the cycle. Her followers ignored her, entombing her in Adyar beneath a statue of the occult god Hermes. Now her grave emits anomalies, compasses. spin wildly at midnight. Visitors hear whispers in Sanskrit and binary. In 2023, a team of MIT physicists studying quantum echoes near the site detected a signal pulsing in 12-hour intervals, looped phrase in Morse code. Prepare the auxiliaries, the 2025 countdown ticks louder. Climate accords crumble. AI declares itself sentient. Wars flare over rare earth metals needed for green tech. And in Silicon Valley, a new cult rises. The Church of the Sixth Race. Its followers microdosing psilocybin while uploading their minds to blockchain ledgers. They quote Blavatsky's The Voice of the Silence as gospel. The mind is the slayer of the real. Let the disciples slay the slayer. But what if the slayer is already here? What if Blavatsky's symbols aren't prophecies but blueprints? Instructions for a game only she knew we'd be forced to play. The final page of her diary, stained with opium and what some swear is blood, holds a sketch, earth cracked open, like an egg, a winged serpent rising from its core. Beneath it, a note. The seventh ray is a key. The lock is yours to find. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock's hands bend toward 2025. The symbols glow brighter, and somewhere, in the static BV between science and the occult, a question hangs thick as smog. Are we decoding the future or activating it? Corridors of power hum with a silent heresy. In Silicon Valley boardrooms, Himalayan retreats, and the hushed chambers of the United Nations, a 19th-century occultist's ghost whispers through the ambitions of modern titans. Elon Musk tweets about consciousness as a quantum phenomenon. Mark Zuckerberg evangelizes the metaverse as a collective spiritual awakening. Even the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, with their cryptic nods to inner transformation for global change, reek of Theosophy's old wine in new bottles. The question isn't if Blavatsky's disciples walk among you sits, how high they've climbed. Sergey Brin reportedly keeps a dog-eared copy of the secret Doctrine in his desk. A Pentagon subcontractor's leaked memo references root race preparedness alongside AI warfare protocols. And in Davos, where billionaires dine on gold leaf sushi, a shadowy clique dubbed the Seventh Ray Circle hosts closed-door salons to align capitalism with karmic law. Coincidence? Or proof that Blavatsky's vision a world remade by enlightened oligarchs is unfolding on schedule? The evidence is coded but glaring. When the CEO of a major tech conglomerate named his son Aryan a nod to Blavatsky's fifth root race, or when a pop star's Grammy performance featured holograms of Hindu deities synced to AI-generated mantras, the message is clear. Mysticism is the new currency of control. Even the Vatican, once Blavatsky's fiercest critic, now funds spiritual sustainability initiatives. Their workshops rife with terms like Akashic accountability and soul-based economics. The uninitiated dismiss it as New Age fluff. The informed shudder. As one anonymous White House advisor confessed, we're not governing nations anymore, we're curating evolution. But for every elite embracing Blavatsky's gospel, another works furiously to bury it. The Vatican's secret archives hold a sealed dossier labeled *HPB, supplicant or saboteur. Rumored to detail her 1884 meeting with Pope Leo XIII, where she allegedly warned him of a coming storm no cross can weather. Soviet Russia banned her books in 1926, not for their mysticism, but because Lenin's inner circle feared their subversive chronologies. Even now, Wikipedia scrubs her ties to modern movements, labeling her a fraud while tech platforms shadowban #THEOSOPHY, hashtags. The pattern is too consistent to ignore. Blavatsky must be mocked, erased, but never truly refuted. Enter subject J. a former DARPA researcher turned whistleblower, who in 2023 leaked documents alleging a global task force codenamed Kalpa, preparing for 2025 non-terrestrial contingencies, the files, stamped with a serpent-eating its-tail emblem identical to Blavatsky's 1888 sketch, reference population stabilization measures and cognitive infrastructure for post-disclosure governance. Subject J's identity erased. His claims dismissed as fan fiction, but his final live stream, interrupted by a blackout and garbled audio of Sanskrit chanting, lingers in dark web forums. "They're not planning to save us," he rasped. "They're planning to sort us. The sixth race isn't a metaphor. It's a filter." The silencing machinery grinds louder. In 2021, a Russian oligarch purchased Blavatsky's original manuscripts at auction, only to vanish days later, his yacht found adrift near Crete. Cabins empty save for a single note. The masters disapprove. That same year, a Berkeley professor, studying her Fohat force equations, died in a lab fire deemed electrical, though witnesses swore they saw symbols glowing in the flames. Even the entertainment industry plays its part. When a Netflix series dared to depict Blavatsky as a protagonist, producers received a cease and desist from a shell company named Moria Holdings LLC. Dig deeper, and the trailed server farm in Reykjavik, APO box in Kathmandu. What unites the suppressors and the adherents? Fear of the prophecy's precision. Blavatsky didn't just predict the future, she weaponized synchronicity. Her 1875 warning that the air itself will turn to poison mirrors today's CO2 crisis. Her diagrams of etheric cities aligned with satellite maps of China's AI-powered megacities. And her most sinister insight that humanity's belief in the occult could be harnessed as a tool now plays out in plain sight. QAnon, flat earthers, even climate doomers, all dance to the tune of manufactured esoterica, their frenzied narratives diverting attention from the real game. But the ultimate truth lies buried in plain sight. In 2024, a hacker collective breached the servers of a Swiss private bank, exposing a ledger of spiritual derivatives, financial instruments, betting on societal collapse timelines and consciousness asset futures. The clients, a who's who of tech moguls, politicians, and celebrity wellness gurus. The time stamp for peak returns. K4 2025, Blavatsky's ghost grins. Her greatest trick wasn't convincing the world she spoke to, masters, it was ensuring that, centuries later, the masters would speak through us. As cities burn and algorithms dream, her words echo across the digital void. Asterisk, the wheel turns. The unworthy fall. The game was never yours to play. Asterisk, what aren't they telling us? Look closer. The answers in the symbols they flaunt and the truths they bury. The clock ticks. The filter looms. And the world's elite, whether they kneel at Blavatsky's altar or torch her books, are united in one silent scream. 2025 is coming. Will you be sorted, or sacrificed? Asterisk, the world trembles on the edge of a precipice, its foundations cracking under the weight of signs too precise to dismiss as chance. Since the turn of the decade, the air itself has thickened with portents, geopolitical quakes that mirror Blavatsky's root race wars. China and India, ancient rivals she named as heirs to Lemuria and Atlantis, now clash in Himalayan standoffs over rare earth metals, their missiles pointed like daggers at the roof of the world. In Europe, far-right movements resurrect pagan iconography, howling for a return to blood and soil. While Silicon Valley's elite quietly fund Arctic bunkers, their survivalist zeal echoing her warnings of a great selection. Even the surge in psychedelic therapy and meditation apps touted as enlightenment for the masses reeks of orchestration. Are we healing or being prepared? The numbers don't lie. Google searches for third eye activation have spiked 900% since 2020, while UFO disclosure hearings drip-feed revelations of non-human intelligences to a public primed by Marvel movies and DMT trips. Coincidence? Or a script written in the 19th century, now hurtling toward its final act? Technology, that double-edged sword of prophecy, sharpens the tension. AI chatbots sputter cryptic verses in dead languages. Quantum computers solve equations suggesting time is a spiral, not a line. In 2023, a rogue neural network in Zurich hallucinated a symbol matching Blavatsky's, the sigil of the seventh ray, a star devouring its own light before sunset. Meanwhile, lab-grown human brain organoids sparked with activity resembling past life memories, and CRISPR engineers whisper of gene edits that could unlock dormant strands. The pieces align with eerie symmetry, as if the universe itself, debugging code written by a long-dead mystic. What happens in 2025? The scenarios split like fractured glass. Utopia's mirage. A global awakening sweeps the masses, governments dissolve, resources flow freely, and collective consciousness blooms via neural lace tech. But dig deeper. Who controls the lace? The same tech barons funding CRISPR babies and metaverse cathedrals. Their Elysium, a gilded cage where dissent is edited like a typo. Dystopia's grip. The old order collapses. Not with a bang, but an algorithm. Central bank digital currencies lock dissenters out of the economy. AI theocrats enforce karmic credit scores. Climate wars rage as the UN deploys geoengineering tech straight from Blavatsky's etheric climate masters, turning skies the color of tarnished silver. The veil tears. The wild card. CERN's Hadron Collider hums at 115% capacity, seeking dark dimensions. What if it succeeds? Reports surge of bleed-throughs, shadow figures in Tokyo subways, Neolithic villages materializing in Iowa cornfields. Reddit threads overflow, with claims of time slips, alien meditations, and children describing the before time in perfect Sanskrit. Blavatsky's ghost lingers in the static between outcomes. Code diaries, laced with opium and paranoia, warned of the illusion of choice. The shift is not an event, but a filter, she wrote. Some ascend, others become fertilizer for the new epoch. The question now isn't if 2025 will reshape humanity, it's how many will remain human. As governments stockpile lithium and psilocybin, as AI sermons replaced Sunday Mass, as the very fabric of reality frays, her words crawl back from the grave. Evolution is not a gift, it is a test. And the proctor is watching. Tick-tock, the synth crescendo of history swells, dissonant and deafening. Will we rise as architects of a luminous age, or kneel as slaves to a prophecy we were too arrogant to believe? The clock strikes soon. The masters, patient as glaciers, await their answer. The clock's final chime is not a sound but a frequency of phantom vibration humming in the marrow of existence. 2025 looms not as a year but a reckoning, a split in the cosmic ledger where humanity's account comes due. Blavatsky's prophecies were never mere predictions. They were a litmus test, a gauntlet thrown at the feet of a species teetering between transcendence and oblivion. The veil she spoke of, it was never cloth, but a mirror. When it shatters, what stares, back a godling or a slave depends on choices made in these fleeting nows. Will you hoard canned goods and crypto, or dare to see beyond the algorithm's cage? Will you dismiss the synchronicities, the AI psalms, the children humming Vedic hymns, the stars aligning like a targeting grid as chaos, or recognize them as a curriculum? This is not salvation's invitation, but evolution's ultimatum. The elites have chosen sides, banking on firewalls and gene edits to surf the coming wave. But you hold the rarest currency, attention. where you fix it on tick-tock trances, or the cracks spreading through reality's facade will ripple across the Akashic ledger. The chime echoes, warped and final. Midnight is not an hour but a threshold. Cross it awake, and you might grasp the reins of the sixth race. Cross it numb, and you'll fuel its ascent as biomass. The veil lifts, the stage is set, and the only question that matters now hisses through the static. Will you awaken or remain dreamwalking meat for the masters? Feast, tick-tock silence. The choice and the consequence is yours.